Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Action.
This is April 4th, 2026. I have asked my beloved grandson, Farley, to help me undo a mistake I made. When Asa and Chico were here, the end of March, in blathering away about my grandpa, which was the purpose of Asa and I making a video, I said he was fat. Grandpa would have hated to be called fat. And the first thing I want to say is Grandpa was not fat, he was burly. And I checked on Google to see what burly means. And that's what Grandpa was. Oh, and I've got a picture to prove it. This is Grandpa. This is Grandpa surf casting. I can't guess what age he was there. But he was a big man with big hands, big feet, and a huge appetite. He loved to eat, and I admired that in him. And what I was talking about with Asa, I said he ate for lunch one day. I watched him. I said he ate some clams on the half shell. They weren't on the half shell. He ate 2 big plates of steamed clams. And the way he ate his steamed clams was with a lot of hot butter and Worcestershire sauce. And then after the clams, he had 2 lobsters for lunch. He had Uncle Harry, Tara's brother, Uncle Harry Greeno, Tara being my grandmother, Constance Greeno Fuller, who was called Tare by her sons, which was short for Mater. Everybody ended up, and the family ended up calling her Tare, pretty much. And so what I wanted to say about Grandpa was the other thing I left out about I had said about the little wedges, little, I think they're rye bread circles of bread, and he would put a Bermuda onion on them with Worcestershire on to eat on the boat when we all went fishing on Roland Odier's fishing boat. And that boat was a very small boat, not set up for fishing. It didn't have chairs that screwed into the deck. So that is why Grandpa went overboard. He was sitting in a folding chair, and he was having his lunch, and not paying attention perhaps, and they hit a little out off Edgartown someplace, off Chappaquiddick really. They hit a swell, and he went overboard and went down, and when he started to come back up, he was hit by the propeller. I think it was his leg that was hit by the propeller, and so he was somehow gotten back on board, and they took him to Edgartown and to wait for the ambulance to come for him. At which point he said, well, while I'm waiting, I want some. That's when he said, I want some of those clams. There was a clam bar by the Edgartown Yacht Club, and he wanted clams on the half shell waiting for the ambulance. And by the time Kathy and I got to the hospital, he was about to be taken into surgery to have his leg dealt with, and he was saying, I haven't had lunch yet. I want to have my lunch first. And that was Grandpa. But another thing he liked, another thing he enjoyed, which I've had here in his memory, the can on the shelf right now is a cold Campbell's baked beans with vinegar. Maybe black pepper, don't remember, but I have had and have enjoyed cold baked beans, Campbell's cold baked beans, and with vinegar. So he was a great eater. But even better than that, when he always was very supportive of me and my whims, and at one point, my then boyfriend Chuck Curran and I thought we wanted to run a newspaper, that we would like to have our own newspaper. So Grandpa said, if you can show me on paper how you can make a go of it, I'll finance it. But we couldn't, and we lost interest immediately. But that's the way he was. He would have backed me up on that, and he built a house for me in McMeadows, and he and Tara were always the ones that got our Huff family, our cars and our houses over the years, and so I'm very grateful to him, and I just want to represent him with all his open-mindedness and kindness. And I used to bring him music, jazz albums, and he would listen, and because he would sit on his sun porch looking out at the water when he was quite old, and reading his Mary Baker Eddy books and also his Bible, and listening to classical music. But I would bring him jazz albums, and he would listen to those too. But my favorite memory is always when I could make him laugh, and to hear him laugh was always so great. He'd laugh till the tears streamed down his face. And my grandpa. And let's see, and he was a great sportsman. He didn't shoot deer, but he shot Canada geese and ducks. He had a friend named Tiny Brown, a huge man, and they went to Cuba to fish for sailfish. And the sailfish being the kind of beautiful fish that you would have mounted and hung over your fireplace in the old days, maybe. But he would go to that extreme to hunt for sailfish. I don't know if we don't have sailfish in this country, or I don't know about that. But that was when he was younger, and then we had this little, that whole thing with the fishing boat. I just texted Muggsy to ask where his fishing boat was kept, because I don't remember it being here on the island, because he went with Roland Odier in his boat. But he had a fishing boat called The Last Drop, Chasing Sanborn's Good to the Last Drop thing. And he was the head of the American Red Cross in Rome. I don't know what qualified him to be the head of the American Red Cross in Rome, but he got a medal from the King of Italy, King Emmanuel, which Muggsy has, and was named a baron. He was called, I remember Noni, my Aunt Noni, calling him the baron. And I just thought it was a nickname of some sort, but he had an actual medal because he went about founding a factory for the Roman women to work in to make uniforms. Not sure if they were for the Americans or for the Italians, but whatever, I should know the details. Maybe Muggsy does, but it boggles my mind. Yeah, I think I've covered everything I wanted to. But I think he'd be pleased that we're doing this, and I wish you could have known him, Charles. Thank you so much for doing it.